Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
We are all Richard Allen!
Five brain cells, 4 aren't working. Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains?
You know, that's just one step above stupid.
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
Huh? It's a house!
Hey, it worked after a while. All right. It's like starting a car. Oh, looks like the dogs are not sure what they're doing. Maybe they're not in there right now. All right, well, today's another day, everybody. Today's another day. We're going to be working on the continuation of the timeline. I did add something in. I was hoping other people would find other things, but I did add something in. The sighting, I think it was in one of the court hearings at 3:02. The Floyd's cannabis, right? You guys remember that one? Is it 3:02? I don't know what the precise seconds is or something, but apparently at 3:02 it was spotted at Floyd's. The White launcher, perhaps, or the suspect vehicle was spotted at Floyd's cannabis, and that was on the 13th. Well, hopefully tonight will be super cool, or it's just the same thing. Okay, do you want me to switch topics, or? Wow, look at that. Leon Littlejohn right out of the chute just gifted 10 memberships. Who is the Bondi? I don't know who Bondi is. Who's that? Oh, well, there you go. There's an example. 6 people killed in 3 minutes. I don't know that case, but... Well, wow, thanks, Leon Littlejohn. And there's K-Me. Leon Littlejohn, welcome to Junk Gypsy, Little Bar, Brandon, 1 a.m., ASAP, Lizzie, Toss, Toots, Morgan. I think I'm going to say that one. And then CeeLo and Gail Schwarter. But you guys remember that, right? The at 3:02, the Floyd's cannabis shop. We're awake in a shopping. Right, so those people were awake, right? Not asleep and drunk. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, they mentioned it, Floyd's cannabis shop. And I actually had the time written down, so I think it was in one of the hearings. So I'm putting it in there as one of the times. And I think I remember looking at it. So Floyd's cannabis shop is right there. Okay, but check this out. Thank you, Sonia. Is it this one? No, it's this one. All right, well, look at this. See, Ann Taylor doesn't know. She just is. She thinks she's so clever. Don't worry about the timing of something. Blah blah blah. But she's kind of dumb too. You know. I don't know how to explain it, but you know the 254 time frame. The vehicle was right there. Let me show you this. The vehicle was right here at 254. They say now. Okay, stop. He turned it off at 254. And maybe he's heading in this direction or something. So he's going away from, well, of course, he's heading down this road, right? But watch this. So that's that exact spot. And then look what time it passes. It takes 8 minutes to get to Floyd's cannabis shop. So what time would it be? All right, so if it's 2:54 when the phone stops pinging right here, and you drove from there, what time, if you add 8 minutes to 2:54, what time is it? It's 3:02. Well, guess what? That's the exact time that Floyd's cannabis shop saw that. So using Google Maps, the time just driving the normal rate and speed, it takes 8 minutes, and it would be 3:02. So darn it, you know, Ann Taylor, you happen to give that exact time frame of 2:54. Now it's like, oh wow, okay. You know, if you'd stick with 2:47, you'd say, well, where did he go? How do we know that's the same car? Where did it go? Well, it's right there. Would have had to be going 70. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure if you guys are paying attention because there's not one comment referring back to what I just showed you. So we'll wait. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, like a car can't turn around. Well, even if it's going this direction, it could take a left. You know, and maybe, and there's another way too, by the way. There's this back way. And I'm sure, look at, so this is 6.1 and that's 6.8. You know, so I guess if you drove this way and you drove quicker than this says 12 minutes, but I bet you if you drove way over the speed limit, which would probably be safe as hell out here because there's not any, you know, there's no, I'm sure cops aren't hanging out on that street over there. I wonder if they checked out here on this highway here, on this road. You know, just zip by here. Probably aren't a lot of cameras on any of these facing the highway, etc. Okay, well, DJ, don't watch then, because everybody watching knows what the topic is. All right. Anyways, so it's like when people come in, I've been watching for 5 minutes and I don't know what the topic is. Well, you ever thought of looking at the thumbnail, for God's sakes? It says it right on there. Have you ever thought of doing that? Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Wow. Why don't you change your name to McFly? You know, it's just unbelievable. So we got that. And what we're going to do tonight is work on where the phone is pinging, and also get into when the phone goes down south. And tonight's show is going to be more the ping information put into the timeline. All right. But great. Hey, thanks, Allie Cake. Appreciate it. Huh? How come there's 200 Johnsons in here? Why don't we remove both of them? Okay. Let's assume they're both trolls. Yeah, well, there's one we can remove right there. Make sure to remove that one. Block the one at the bottom. Thank you, Leon Littlejohn again. And then get rid of the other Hunter Johnson as well, okay? Thanks. They can email me if they're not a troll, and I'll consider getting them back in there. And yes, But Gray needs to be on a mug shot, or mug shirt. Yep. But Gray. You have to have a thing that plays the audio though, right? Although it'll just pop into your head, I think. Yeah, so I think Zozo's example up there is, it shows you. I mean, this person killed 6 people in 3 minutes using a K-bar knife, and they weren't drunk or anything. Okay, I'm just going to... We gotta move down to where it was pinging. Part of the investigation warrants to determine the cellular device. Okay, this is where the activity. 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Based on my training experience. So they were looking at cell phone information on Kohberger's phone around the King Road residence between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. And based on my training experience and conversation with law enforcement officers that specialize in utilization of cellular telephone records as part of investigation, individuals can either leave their cellular telephone at a different location before committing a crime or turn their phone off prior to going to location to commit a crime. This is done by subjects in an effort to avoid alerting law enforcement. I mean, everybody knows that at this point. Yeah, that'd be cool, Zozo. On December 23rd, 2022, pursuant to a search warrant, Corporal Payne received records. Let's see, I think we're on the right one now. These records indicate that the Kohberger's phone is subscribed to Brian Kohberger at an address in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, and the account has been open since June 23rd, 2022. These records also include historical cell site location information. After receiving this information, Moscow Police Department consulted with an FBI agent, special agent, that is a certified as a member of the Cellular Analysis Survey Team, CAST. Members of CAST are certified with the FBI to provide expert testimony in the field of historical CSLI and are required to pass extensive training that includes both written and practical examinations. I think I need to zoom in. Let me check something really quick though. I didn't check to see. Now, there's no new documents today. Make that quieter. Man, I gotta... Eyes feel blurry. Yeah, maybe I have the wrong glasses on. I have some old ones with the worst prescription. Let me go try to find that one. I'm not sure that's any clearer. Let's see. It's weird. Well, better than before, I guess. So on November 13, 2022 at 2:42 a.m., phone utilized cellular resources that provide coverage to 1630. So we could put that in the time frame. Let's open that up. 2:42, so it's when he's at his residence. So there you go. The cell tower data also has pretty much the same thing. So we'll put it right there. Maybe we'll make it like purple, maybe a different color for the cell tower data. How about like a blue or something, or purple, blue? How about blue? Like that. And this is going to be cast cell tower data. Shows Kohberger at home. Phone utilized cellular resources that provide coverage to his residence. And then at 2:47, Kohberger's phone utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage southeast of Kohberger's residence, consistent with his phone leaving Kohberger's residence and traveling south through Pullman, Washington. This is consistent with the movement of the white Elantra. Then it says at approximately 2:47 a.m. his phone stopped reporting to the network. So that's not, I guess that's 2:54. All right, so 2:47, they do have his phone sort of pinging down in this area, moving down in that direction. So what we'll do is we'll put that at 2:47. We don't even have anything on 2:47 here. So we'll insert that, maybe take this one, put it here, put 2:47 a.m. and then this is location southeast Pullman, Washington, and then shows Kohberger's phone in southeast Pullman. Not sure what the hell happened there. Turn off my cap locks. All right. Then so it doesn't really, then it doesn't report anymore to the network, right? And then at 4:48 a.m. the phone does not report to the network again until 4:48 a.m., at which time it utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage to Idaho Highway 95 south of Moscow, Idaho, near Blaine, town north of Genesee. And I think we have that one in there down here. So look at it's interesting, right? His phone pings at home. His phone pings South Pullman, Washington, and then it's his phone Pullman, Washington. I guess we need to put that in here, don't we? Because now we know that at 2:54 it turns off. So let me. Kohberger's phone turns off. We already have it here. And that's actually a ping, so I'm going to turn that to blue. It should be like that. So look at it, seen at 2:53, and then a minute later it turns its phone off, and then it doesn't ping again until we go all the way down here to 4:48, and that's another ping. So we'll just say, cast data. Isn't that interesting? Look at all this stuff right there. Phone turns off, and then all of this stuff in between. This right here, I put this on there. That's the time of the homicide between 4:08 and 4:20. Actually between 4:07:47, he's not in the house yet, and at 4:20:47, he's not in the house. But in between, all of this stuff right here is happening inside the residence during the time of the homicides, and that is the white Elantra parked behind the residence. Xana used TikTok at 4:12. 4:17, there were voices or a whimper followed by a loud thud. A dog can be heard barking. 4:18, Kohberger leaves the residence. That's my guess. 4:19:07, Bethany calls Dylan. 4:20, Dylan calls Xana. 4:20:28, Dylan Mortensen calls Bethany Funk for 41 seconds. And then in the middle of that phone call, Kohberger's vehicle is seen on the 1112 King Road camera, leaving at a high rate of speed. Alright, so don't forget, you guys, this is a new night. We're getting near the end of the month. If you guys can help support the channel, we do this every single night to try to, support the channel. And also, we got our donation night coming up. Tomorrow's the only other normal day, and then we have the 30th. And make sure to show up for that one. You'll see some of the good stuff that we do each month. We've already given 1,000 out this month. And by the way, the Ted Bundy that is in the chat sometimes, and that's a real person, and sends coffees and whatnot. I mean, they're actually a real person. I sent them text messages. All they did was like the comments. They didn't say anything back. But anyways, there you go. Well, thanks, Leon Littlejohn, again. Now, what about the rest of you guys? Come on, let's get it going in here. All right, so after that one, cellular resources provide coverage to Idaho State 95, Moscow. Between 4:50 and 5:26, the phone utilizes cellular resources that are consistent with the phone traveling south on Idaho 95 to Genesee, Idaho, then traveling west towards Uniontown. What's interesting about that to me is they don't actually, like, here's Genesee. The vehicle never went to Genesee based on what they have in the probable cause document. They have this map like this. And by the way, let's just look at something really quick. Well, I did this earlier in the day. Let's see. This is it right here. This is the route that I have. Let me show you their route that they had in the probable cause document. That is right. And I got so many pins. Right here. So see that? Now this green is the closest I can do to follow what they had, because there is no road that goes like that. But everything else is very close. It comes down, goes like that, up like that. So I actually drove that one. Hey, thanks, FSC Figure Skating Coach. So you see that? And I drove it. And I drove this exact route that I have right here. So let's just take a look at this. If you drove straight from the 1122 King Road residence, see that right at the top there, and you drove, it says Queen Road, but anyways, if you drove that route, this is exactly how law enforcement believes they went, on Conestoga and then Palouse River Drive. It takes 59 minutes to get to all the way around, and so that would put you, and when I say all the way around, I mean right to here at 5:26:22 apparently. That's when the so that's sort of interesting, because that means there's only about 6 minutes of missing time, I guess, at this point. Yeah, so it's 5:26:22. If he left his residence at 5:20 and 47 seconds, 59 minutes would put you right here at 5:19 and 47 seconds. So that's like 7 minutes off doing this route right here. However, it's weird if you do a timing from. I actually drove it myself, and there's 16 minutes of missing time. So, because like Google Maps sometimes has you driving as slow as you can possibly drive. Like here's the speed limit, and that's what we're going to use, not the 5 to 10 miles an hour over the speed limit that everybody drives. Yeah, cool, Zara. Yeah, I've been on Court TV many times for this case and others. Huh? Let's see. Who are you talking to? Let's see. What's comical? What's comical in here? I don't get it. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, he definitely didn't want to. He probably thinks Kohberger's innocent or something. I don't know. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. That's the kind of mentality that guy has over there on his channel. Let's see. The true crime community has been financially supported single-handedly by a figure skating coach for about a decade. Impressive. I don't know what that means. Who are these people commenting in here? Are they real people? What's going on in the chat right now? I mean, this is crazy. Are you guys even interested in this or what? What's happening? I mean, who's Pixel Pixie? I mean, this is comical. Who the hell are you? I mean, that can't be the real Duty Ron, because I could go on for 20 minutes about that guy. Let's see. Everybody's reading each other's comments and answering as we listen. I'm tuning out the trolls and just focusing on you. Okay. Great. Did you see the most recent Steve Gonzalez interview? Right. Hello, Gray, and everyone. It's not good to see that person love Boston. Okay, trust me. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. This is comical. What does that even mean? About your Idaho coverage, so I thought he was coming over. Well, that'd be great, but that's not what he did. I mean, saying this is comical, there's nothing funny that we're doing, A content creator coming into another chat to disrupt is lame. Yeah, I don't know why you're making that type of comment. But it's not unusual in here, you guys. The trolls show up every single night, especially the idiots. All right, let's see. Let's get back to this. So what we just said, from 4:50 to 5:26 a.m., the phone utilizes cellular resources that are consistent with the phone traveling south on Idaho State 95 to Genesee, then traveling west towards Uniontown. But it never did that. Like his map here, the one that's in the probable cause, doesn't do that. It comes down here and then goes across. Uniontown's there and Genesee is here, so it, I mean, they're saying towards, I guess, and I guess maybe it's hitting the northern sides of the towers, so he's thinking it maybe cut across like that. Maybe you wouldn't want to drive through a couple towns and maybe get seen on camera, for example. So many places to dispose that weapon. Yeah. That's interesting though. When I just did that timing, it had it 59 minutes. Let me see this one right here. So this one took 1 hour and 18 minutes. That's a different route. See, there's this back route that I often look at because it puts you. Blaine is right here, right? So if you went on this back route like this, and it would be the same thing up here. You would drive up here, but you wouldn't go down Highway 95. You continue on, and you pass the road that you go up to Indian Hills Drive, and you keep going straight, and then you come down, and right through here, it's like the Janice Road, I guess, and you go through Blaine, and then out to Highway 95, and then go south, and that avoids the cameras that Ann Taylor was talking about, saying, I think she said, well, why didn't the car drive by Mundy's Machine and Welding or Wasankari Construction if it went down on Highway 95 like the probable cause has? Well, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different ways that you could take, for sure. I don't know, what's this whole thing about this shovel that everybody keeps talking about? I mean, we've known about, wasn't that just part of the documents that there was a shovel found in the car? I mean, we don't know if he was using that shovel to do anything. I mean, I'm just saying, if they found it in, I don't know, like if there was a way to know that he had it in his car right then. Okay, so that makes it all of a sudden it's a big story again because he mentioned it again. It was already mentioned in the documents a long time ago. Yeah, it's like probably one of those little camping shovels, yeah. So 450 to 526. I guess I could put in a right here. $420 to $526. Is that what it said? So they're already including this part. I don't know. What do I do for that? 450 AM. Vehicle heads 95 and heading in the then heads east then north. I don't know, that's kind of tough. 450. I don't know, that's just because it's interesting how it matches up right with this, though. I guess I could say 450 vehicle cell. Let's see, Highway 95 cell tower. Uh, 95 heading south. Just cast data follows Kohberger's movements. And then maybe we put and it's not uncommon for people to carry shovels for obvious reasons. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see about that. All right. So let's see. Hello up there to Jenna, Robin, BMS, Mindy, Callie, Dime, Chuck, D's, Amber, Maiden, K, me, Alec. By the way, in that case of that guy that was missing in Nashville, he showed up at a McDonald's 2 days later. So, you know, he's still out there. Maybe he was trying to mimic Riley Strain to see if anybody cared. And then Jenna, Susie, Sandpiper, LIID, Skid, Gore, 666, Chuck D's, Alley Cake. Let's see, Cemetery Stone, Paulette Leonard, Callie Dime, Cheryl Moran, BMS, Lisa Valenzuela, Alley Cake, and Leon Littlejohn. Alright, so it's 450, and then right around 426, I'll just put that in here. It's just more cast information. '26. The phone utilizes resources that are consistent with the phone traveling west towards Uniontown and then back to Pullman. Pullman, Washington. Hey, thanks, Susie Sandpiper. And this is cast. Data shows vehicle back near Pullman. That's not where I wanted that. It's right here. All right. Well, there you go. So it basically tracks the vehicle all the way back up, and it matches. Look at the 526 and then these 526, 528, 28. We did all those yesterday, right? I mean, that's just crazy, you know. All right, so then back to this. And then it says at approximately 5:30 a.m., Kohberger's phone utilizes resources that provide coverage to Pullman, Washington. So in Pullman, Washington, and consistent with the phone traveling back to Kohberger's residence. So then we put, that would be right here. And look at, I mean, isn't that crazy? It fits this perfectly. He's heading on vehicles north on Stadia Way during turning east onto Northeast Orchard, and I think that was right here. See that? So it's heading towards its house, and not only is it on camera doing that, but his phone is consistent with that on the ping data. So we'll put that in there. 5:30. Let's say Pullman, Washington. Consistent. Pullman, Washington. Vehicle moving consistent with the phone traveling back to his residence. With phone traveling, vehicle moving, okay, phone cast, data, phone moving, consistent with heading home. There we go. Alright guys, we're having one of those slow starts to a show, so if you're out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, We're getting near the end of the month. We only have tonight and tomorrow. Then we have our donation night, and that's when we can try to make a big difference out there. Already given out 1,000. It also helps support my channel. There's no ad revenue on these live streams to speak of, really. So you guys are it, man. You guys are it. So if you like the show and feel like I'm a channel worthy of supporting, who actually tries to put out the factual information and figure out exactly what's happening, I would appreciate it. All right? So thank you. I wasn't able to make a video today to help augment because today I spent the entire day again. Let's see what happened. Let's see. Okay, so we went over to my parents' house in the morning to, then we installed a new toilet seat that's higher, that has handles on it. And then after we did that, while sitting there eating lunch with Mom, the hospital said, "Hey, Dad, he's ready to go home now." So we went over to pick him up directly after that. Brought his walker that we bought him. Then we picked him up and then came home, put him in his walker, walked him into the room, and he comes to find out that they didn't send him home any medication because he's at an assisted living facility that should have the medication already. And then, so I just, on a whim, I said, then we brought the packet and handed it to the lady, and she said, "Yeah, we're just giving him the same medicine that he already had, right?" And I go, no, they're all different. I mean, not all, but there's like a lot of different medicines in here, and some he's not taking anymore. And they're like, "Oh crap, we gotta go order those." And I go, "Oh yeah, he needs to have those for tonight." And they go, "Oh well, the thing is we can order them now, but we're not gonna get it till 2 or 3 in the morning, and then maybe we can just have him skip his meds tonight." And I'm like, no, he's not skipping meds again. He's not. Hey, thanks, Cemetery Stone, Donna, and Cheryl Moran. Yeah, I said he's not going to. And thank you guys. You guys are awesome. And Leon Littlejohn. Look at you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you. And so after that, I mean, look, this is crazy. All right. So they don't have the medicine that he's supposed to take tonight. The new the diuretic and a heart medicine. He's not supposed to take fluorescimide, or I think it's Lasix is the brand name. Yeah. And so they go, "Oh, okay. So what we'll do is we'll have him discontinue those." And so we had to go get a prescription randomly filled by a doctor for 1 pill for tonight, and then this other double pill because it's 40 milligrams, but they only have 20 milligram pills. So I drove over there and picked those up, and then drove over to the assisted living place, and then I talked to the nurse over there and said, "Hey, here they are." And she goes, "Okay, well, discontinue those other ones. Here's these. We should have all the medicine tomorrow. I'll let the nurse going around that these are the ones he's supposed to take tonight." And it's like, I mean, you just wouldn't believe. And then we had the hospital involved too. We were like, "Well, how come he didn't have the medicine?" And then she tried for hours over there, but they can't. Now that he's already been discharged, he's not under their care anymore. I mean, can you imagine? Hopefully right now we're, in a better place. It's just a nightmare. So there you go. All right. That's the day today. It was unbelievable. And there has been almost nothing, no day that wasn't like this so far. It's crazy. And you would think the fact that my dad was a doctor in the same family hospital, the same, working under the same umbrella, that they would treat him a little bit better, since he was actually one of the world's best nephrologists and had saved thousands of lives. Like, wouldn't you think that those guys would go in there and, just be like, "Okay, what does he need? What does he need? Okay, boom. What do we got?" Nope, he's treated like garbage. Just unbelievable. crazy, crazy, crazy. You almost want to say, listen, you know, this place that you work for right here, don't you hope that if you get sick, they treat you better than you just treated my dad? You know? Yeah, no, it's crazy that there wasn't from the hospital directly over there saying, here's the new meds. She just sort of assumed that they were the same, and they're not. They're not the same. Great day, huh? Anyways, thank you guys very much up there. Thanks to Leon Littlejohn, Show Moran with a cat eye, and Donna and Cemetery Stone. All right, back to this. Anyways, I just thought I'd fill you in. Here, let me check something really quick. Hold on. Somebody made a comment a minute ago. Yeah, he's got a check mark on his name. That other channel that was in here that said, "This is hilarious." They have a check mark. I think that is the person. I guess we aren't going to get to know what the hell they were talking about. Oh, I'll just check. Hold on. Can I do that? Is there any mods out there? Can you click on the channel itself of his post up there and see if it goes to it? And extremely frustrating dealing with clueless. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Why would he do that? Maybe he was talking about something I said that was funny. I don't know. I don't remember, being funny tonight, though. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he gets a lot of views, too. I don't know what his problem is. I just don't think he's very good at thinking through cases. I've seen it. It's the same classic, entertain the bullshit that the Kohberger people, but hey, I think he did it, but, ooh, that's pretty weird. Yeah, that's weird. Forget it. Right. I know, that's why you asked. I don't know what the hell he was talking about. Alright, so let's keep going here. Approximately 5:27 based on... Okay, further review indicates that Kohberger's phone on November 13th was consistent. Phone leaving the area of Kohberger's residence at 9 a.m. Alright, so now we can throw that one in there. Well, we already did that one, right? So right there. No, it just says 9:12, so... This is great. This is great. So now we can actually add in cast information at 11/13/2022 at 9 a.m. And this one is... So this backs up the sighting at the A&W at 9:12:59. So let's see if that makes sense. Hold on. So it says Kohberger at leaving the area of the Kohberger residence at approximately 9. Okay, so let's say leaving. I guess we have his address up here, right? Is it 1630? Yeah, 1630 Northeast Valley Road apartment. Okay, I'm going to put that down here. This is going to be, I think this is going to be pretty interesting. Leaving that area. All right. So the wording is was utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment G201, Pullman, Washington, hereafter the Kohberger residence at approximately... Okay, that was up above. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. It's down here. It says, further review indicated that the Kohberger phone utilizes cellular resources on November 13th that are consistent. It's right over here. That is consistent with the phone leaving the area of the Kohberger residence at approximately 9 a.m. and traveling to Moscow, Idaho. Specifically, Kohberger's phone utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage to the King Road residence between 9:12 and 9:21. Well, that's crazy. All right, so we got to throw this in here somehow. At approximately 9 a.m. and traveling. So specifically, so when you say specifically, was it 9? So they're saying it's leaving his home area around 9. So let's see. Now let's try to figure this out here. So it leaves. It don't really say exactly. Like his phone is leaving the area of his residence. And so that's blue. And that's cast data. That one's going to be blue. So look how it marries up with the other data, though. It's awesome. See, it's right here, Northeast Stadium Way, Wilson Road. Then cast shows him 5:30 in Pullman, Washington. And then he's still driving up there, seen on camera. And then at 9 a.m., it's leaving his residence. And then at 9:12, it's spotted at 1311 South Main Street. I mean, I guess one of the things to look at, though, is, it's consistent with it leaving the area of his residence. So where was the vehicle? Was it right here? I mean, he lives here, but does it, is there a tower? See, there's a tower right here, you guys. So all it means is that it was pinging north of that tower at that time. So it could be somewhere around in here. There isn't a lot of towers to do any triangulation. There's another tower here also, so perhaps that, it was north of that. Is that making any sense? So let's see how long it would take to get from his residence. And we're going to let's use Google Maps here. And then we may be able to figure out if we trust that it is his car driving by the A&W. But 1360. All right, 1360. That's not it. Okay, right there. And then we want to go from there to the gas station. I gotta go get that information again. Not the gas station, the A&W. And let's see how long it takes to get there, because that's when it's spotted at 9:12. Hopefully you guys know what I'm trying to do here. See, it's 1311 South Main Street. So back to the map. 1311 South Main Street, Moscow, Idaho. So they have it at 19 minutes. All right. So, you know, if he was just driving regular speed, that means, you know, see, that's the thing. If you, oh wow, they took that back road up there. Interesting. I wonder if you could do that quicker. And I wonder if at the time of night it would matter. So they have 19 minutes. So they're saying it leaves at 5, and then it pings at, it's actually seen on camera at 9:12. Okay? So that's, you know, there's 7 minutes, you know, like it was 7 minutes faster than it should have been. See what I'm saying? Like, that's why I want to figure this stuff out. So let's try moving this down here. Like if we took this and started it, like he's already left the residence. What happens if it's, let me X that. How come it's still there? Alright. So let's say he's left his residence and he's further down, kind of like in this area. Let's just say right here. And then I'll try to remember exactly where it is. Here, yeah, right there. So that's 17 minutes there. And that's with like lights that you have to stop at, and maybe that time of night there, or that time of day. That's in like around noon, 9 o'clock. So what does it mean when they say at 9 a.m. the vehicle is traveling to Moscow, and it's consistent with the vehicle leaving the area of the Kohberger residence? So is it just the larger area or what? You guys following along here? See, there's like, it has to be like over here maybe. That's 14 minutes. That works. Let's see, if you go to there, that's still 14. And that's 13. And then right there is 12 minutes. So that is the dilemma with that particular time of the ping. I mean, it's still consistent with him leaving the area of where he lives in Pullman, but it would be like right there to be able to drive on the highway just at regular speed to get to this A&W restaurant right here at 9:12, because that's an actual sighting. It's not a guess on a ping or something like that. So I remember this problem, seeing it before, and just thinking, okay, maybe he's already kind of leaving here, but you would think that they would talking about, like if I move this up here, for example, let's say he went up, like he went that direction when he went there. Well, that's 15 minutes. But 15 minutes, you might be able to make up time if you drive 45 when the speed limit's 30. Something like that. And at that time, he doesn't feel nervous because he doesn't have any, you know, he doesn't have, he's already gone home. He's still got the same car and everything, but that's 15 minutes. And that would be coming in from up here. I guess if you move it to like there, let's see what that is. That's 13. That's doable. So like right there, it pings, let's say. Because I don't know how he gets there. You know, leaves at 9 and then gets there at 9:12 when, you know, Google Maps says 9:17. I could see doing it in 14 minutes or something. What do you guys think about that? And it could be that all these little yellows, they weren't on, and he just went right through, and that probably saved quite a bit of time. Yeah, I mean, I just think the pinging is different. That's what I assumed a long time ago. Is like when the car's driving, it pinged, And perhaps he turned his phone off at that time. I mean, maybe his phone was still at home pinging and pinging and pinging. Or did he just turn his phone on right then? I guess we don't have that information. Hey, good night, Leon Littlejohn. Thank you so much for all your support. Oh, there you go again. Jeez. Sorry to run so quick, but I have a 5 a.m. shift tomorrow. Wow. Well, thanks again. Leon Littlejohn. What do you do? What are you doing at 5 a.m.? Yeah, the freaks are amazing. And I'll tell you this, without the freaks, my channel wouldn't be able to survive, and we wouldn't have given $238,000 to various true crime related charities, etc. All right, over the last 5, well, now it's getting closer to 6 years, I think. I keep saying 5 years, but I mean, I think we're well, I guess we have 5 full years, and now we're just 4 months into the 6th. So yeah, that makes sense. But thank you, Leon Littlejohn. And if you guys out there can support the channels, have another good night, kicking into the end of the month. All right, so I don't know how to, I guess if you miss these lights, you could easily do it. And 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, likely somewhat busier traffic, you know, not really busy, but. So let's put that ping information in there. So we have 912 again, so that's pretty amazing. So the 912 matches right there with that address, and it utilizes the same resources as the 1122 King Road address. Hey, look at that. Melanie Tone. Is it Tone or Tone? Probably the second one. 912. 9:12 a.m. And this one is the wording is like Moscow, Idaho. Cast showed the phone utilized the same resources as 1122 King Road. Boom. And then look at that. A vehicle matching the description of the vehicle 1 is traveling southbound on Highway 9. I mean, this is... See, I haven't really thought about it like this yet. You know, matching... I mean, it's crossed my mind, but I haven't really looked at it. It was like, okay, one of these days. But look at this. So right here, when... Let's get to the Google Earth version. Look where the A&W is. And it's just down the street from Ridge Road and the looping. So when it was right here, it utilized the same resources as 1122 King Road. And look at this right here. At 9 a.m., the vehicle's in Moscow, Idaho. Or phone, we could say. Phone is in. And it says cache showed the phone utilized the same resources as 1122 King Road. And then right around that time, you know what? This actually is 9:13 now. So that's 13 minutes, not it's not 9:12. So it is an extra minute. So that does add, you know, we could go back and move the thing back a little bit. And without, if there's a certain amount of time at night, oh, let's see, what does he say? Oh yeah, that's awesome. Pipe fitter, the trades, that's where it's at, man. In the trades, if you want to be an electrician, plumber, you know, pipe fitter, welder. I mean, I'm sure you do a lot of welding. Those guys kick ass, you know. And gals, you know. They do really well. It's very good. They're always needed. And the trades are starting to become bigger again. People are choosing to go into the trades instead of college. Thank God, you know. colleges are, I mean, other than just saying, oh, look, I got a degree. What a waste of time, 90% of the time. It's just, you get out of there and you try to go find a job, unless you're in a specific thing like computer science. You know, you get these degrees in communications. What the hell is that, you know? Hey, I can communicate. Yeah, well, there you go. Boom. Yeah, it's really, I mean, really, like, it's incredible. Like, for example, plumbers, right? There's this, if you get into the apprenticeship program, you get like, you start off at like $24 an hour while you're training to learn how to do it. And by the time you're done with the training, when you become a, you know, you get 48 or something an hour. And then it just keeps going up and up and up. I mean, these guys, you're making $60 an hour after a while. And I mean, at that point, it's just, you know, easy, you know, it's not easy work, but, you know, I'm sure you can pace yourself a little bit. And yeah, without trades, we're screwed. I mean, there isn't going to be an AI plumber, for example, okay? And pipe fitting is too delicate and too, you got to get in there into weird places, and you're not going to get a robot to stick its hand through a little tiny thing and then hold something up here and then boom. It's just not happening, right? Bought a keyboard for iPad. It's like changed for sure. Charger change. Bought a keyboard. Yeah. Yeah, no, it is great money. I mean, imagine when you have a few hours of overtime when you're already getting paid $50 an hour. Now it's $75. I mean, yeah, you're 10 hours of that and shit, you're had a good week. Yeah, there you go, Jenna. That's it, man. I absolutely think people in the trades, I think of almost like they're heroes in some way. It's amazing. I don't know what it is. I always think of them higher, like almost like, I don't know, like firemen or doctors. Not doctors, but like firemen, police officers, the people in the trades. Because they're doing stuff that nobody else can do. And without them, we are screwed, okay? And that's how I sort of look at it. I mean, it's not quite the same. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying. All right, I'm going to get back to this. Yeah, so thank you up there to Leon Littlejohn. Yeah, well, the older generations, they're the ones that know how to do everything. And we need more of those people continuing forward. AI isn't going to solve it. So we need people to still be able to fix a car, be able to, you know, plumbers and welders, electricians, boom, boom, boom. Well, see, there you go. You're way up there. Yeah, you work overtime. You can almost retire on a daily basis. Yeah. Anyways, thank you. And have a great evening. Isn't that crazy? I mean, that's nuts. Drives for UPS. We're so fortunate. Yeah, there you go. Run my own business. I clean restaurants here in Washington State. Oh, good job, man. It's perfect. I thought you worked for State Farm, but I guess you don't. Yeah, that's all right. Anyways, let me get back to this. 9 and then. So the cellular resources that would provide coverage to King Road residents between. So look at it. It sort of hung around in the area for 9 minutes. But I would imagine some of the time was driving away, right? So it was like this is how I'm looking at it, right? Because listen to this. It says phone was traveling back to the area of Kohberger's residence at approximately 9:32. right? So if it's 9:21, that's only 11 minutes to get back. So I'm just sort of wondering if, you know, the vehicle is here, and then maybe it drives by like that and then heads up this direction. And then once it's up here, it's still utilizing the resources, then boom, it doesn't anymore. You know, it's out of there. So I'm going to say, that's how I'm going to try to do that, is I think that even right here, it drove by, exits out here, maybe it goes like this, takes a right, and again, it doesn't pass, amazingly, the Linda Lane camera, so it would turn up like that, go on Nez Perce Drive, head up here, and then eventually it loses contact with the same resources as 1122 King Road. Hopefully that makes sense. But hey guys, if you're out there, if you can help support the channel, that would be awesome. We just keep having the same really generous people. I'm hoping to have other people supporting the channel while we're, you know, covering these cases. We only got 2 more days left. Alright. Let me put this in here. So then it's 9:21 a.m. And I'm going to say, you know, in Moscow, or, you know, at least near Moscow, Idaho. And that's not right. Okay, that's right. That's accurate. Then this. So there you go. So it's still. Yeah, the cool thing about like what Leon Littlejohn does is he doesn't have to say, "Hey everybody, if you could please help support the channel tonight, I would appreciate it." He gets the income no matter what. I don't. I have to sort of hope, you know, and that's the difficult part. All right, see you later. Thank you, Shay 530. So we're at 9:20 a.m. near Moscow, Idaho. The cast showed the phone utilized the same resources as 1122 King Road. Then it's back to the area. So I guess, man, here's what we got to try to figure out is, so now it's 11 minutes. He's back to like where the phone pinged originally when it was leaving. So let's get Google Maps open again. Zoom in here, and then I think it went on this Nez Perce Drive, and I'm gonna make it go like from right here, directions, go from here to, let's see, something like, you know, right there. How many minutes is that? That's 10. So we can go 1 more minute. That's 11. So it's 11 minutes from like right there. So doesn't that make sense that the cell tower is all over the place in the air? I mean, it's like one tower. So even if it's over here, it's utilizing the same tower. And then it goes over here and it's utilizing the same tower. And so maybe right around, I mean, it could even be later than this, right? I mean, I originally thought maybe it's down here, you know, somewhere right there where it's heading down the highway. And then that makes that 9 minutes. And then we can actually move this up further. That's 10. And now we're getting really close to his residence up here. It's right up in there. So you see that? Like that. That's 11 minutes to there. And I hope you guys understand what I try to. It's not something that I can say is 100%, right? So here's like a. There's probably a cell tower. I think it's like right there even, maybe. Well, I know there's a cell tower right here. Okay, look at. That's a cell tower. So is that the cell tower that... let's do like a 3-mile radius. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. If I go right there and do 3 miles, and where are we at? I gotta get this shifted over to miles. Keep going. See, that's 3 miles. And look at that, you guys. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say is like this whole circle, and there's just like one tower there, let's say. There's one up here too, but this is probably one, and there's another one there, so we could do the same thing there. And that one would also encompass the same areas. So whatever it is, utilizing the same resources, as it's traveling around, it's still utilizing the same resources as 1122 King Road. And so we're picking it up when it's exiting the area. That's even outside of that. So if it's this one, let's see what happens if it's that tower. Hopefully what I'm saying makes sense. If I go right there and go 3 miles, that's 3 miles. So now look at that. That fits almost right at that, you know, the cannabis shop. And where do I have it on the Google Maps? Yeah, see, I think, is that close to that? That's crazy. So I have it right there that it's not utilizing that same tower, because maybe this tower picked it up. See this one? So when the car was driving, it changed. See that tower? So right here, it got closer to that tower, and that one picks it up. And that's really consistent with what I just sort of drew in there, and then how it turns into, takes 11 minutes to get pretty far up here. Yes, the 9 a.m. trip. Oh, Jesus. Man. Not this again. Hey, there's Shay 530, Matthew, Ludovico, and Self-Esteem. And there it is. So that's 921. And then 932, we'll just copy this one. And we'll put returning to, we'll put 9:32 a.m. I wish they would have married that up with some surveillance camera footage when it's coming back, you know. But we don't know where it came in. Maybe it came in a pyre. So it's interesting, though, if you just look at it like this, that this is cast data that at 9 a.m. it's leaving Pullman, Washington. 9:12, the phone pings in Moscow, Idaho, and is using resources that 1122 King Road uses. And then right around 9:13, near the A&W, they spot a vehicle matching Brian Kohberger's vehicle. Then at 9:21, the phone is still pinging in the general area in Moscow, Idaho. Cache showed, or, you know, I could even put, I don't know, it's hard to say if it's in Moscow, but cache showed the phone utilized the same resources at 1122 King Road all the way up until from 9:12 to 9:21, and his vehicle is spotted in Moscow, Idaho in the middle of that time. I mean, that's pretty big, don't you think? So from right here, 9:12 to 9:21, it shows is utilizing resources of 1122 King Road. In the middle of that, they have a spotting of a vehicle matching suspect vehicle 1, likely showing it doesn't have a front license plate, I would imagine. What do you think of that? I hope you guys are actually focused on what we're doing, you know. What do you mean slower? What does slower mean? Don't know what that means. Just typing in slower. Alright, now let's go down. That's 932. Below is a depiction, and that's their little map that they have his vehicle going. Let's see. Answer that. On December 23rd, 22, I was granted a search warrant for Kohberger's. Anything else in terms of time? One of these occasions, I was like, that's a different date. So that's CAS data 2. That one was really interesting to me. Additionally, analysis of records for the Kohberger's phone indicate that between approximately 5:32 and 5:36, his phone utilized cellular resources that provide coverage to Johnson, Washington. The phone then stops reporting to the network from 5:36 until 8:30. So what in the hell was that car doing? Think about it like this. Look at it like this. Go to the map. This is in the evening, later that evening. So right here is Johnson, Washington. There's a cell tower right there. Now, it must show that he's on this side, but there's a 4-minute window where his phone is on, almost like he's looking at his map. But Gray, maybe he's not the only one in the Elantra. With an Elantra, I mean. The only one. Well, there's probably I think there's an Elantra convention in Moscow, Idaho, Cheryl. I do. I think there's like 20. Maybe they say there's 50,000. All right. So, I mean, come on. Who doesn't have an Elantra that lives in Moscow, Idaho? Huh? Let's be honest. Hey, cool, Lady of Cali. Hope so. But look at this right here. And by the way, as you zoom in, you can see this is a cell tower, right? There's the quadrants on the top. It's right there. I mean, I wonder if there's a street view down here. I'd be shocked out of my mind if Google Earth guy drove up in this area, and no, they did not. Is there one even in this little town here? Oh, it does go to here. Let's see if we can look up to the right and see that tower up on a hill. Oh, we might be able to. It's kind of old. It might have been right up there, to be honest. Let's see. It's up here. It is at the top of that hill. Let's see. So if you were down below, you should be able to see that, but it's so old you can't see it. Doesn't that suck? We would have been able to see that tower had that been more recent footage. But let's take a look at that in Johnson. Right here. What does it look like? Did he come through here? Or we're kind of out of order here. Oh, there it is. There it is. That's new. See, I told you you could see it. And there's the cell tower right up there. Can I get a boom? That's what I'm talking about. Told you. And so it pinged there. But however, this highway, see, it almost feels like right here, he turns it on and he turns off here, maybe. And then he heads this direction and then it's off for 3 hours. Did he wind back around to where maybe he buried the knife somewhere? Like I have this place circled here, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you, Mindy. As in Mork and... Just kidding. As in Mork and... Right. Nanu. So there's Google Earth. All right, let's get back to trying to. Well, I think it's in a different document though. Let's do the new document that came out. This one has all this stuff. So let's go back to 27th. Text, not that one. I think it's the make and model one. And we're gonna have to add to some of this. Yeah, remember Nanu Gizba? That was the stupidest show in the history of the world. I hated it. I was embarrassed that it was ever on television. Oh, come on, I hated that Mork and Mindy thing. It's just, think how stupid that is. That show, I mean, how did it do that? All right, we're gonna go right here. Now we're at 12:34:15. I don't know if he has his cell phone on here because they don't talk about it pinging, heading down there. Okay, so we're gonna go right here, and now at 12:34:15, this is cell tower information, so this is going to be red. I mean, it's camera. That's not the right area for that. Sorry. 11/13/2022 at 12:34:15 p.m. And this is an individual matching the description of Kohberger enters the main entrance to Costco. This is in 301 5th Street, Clarkston, Washington. Right there. Then this one is an individual entered into Costco. Okay. Let me just get the first part. I mean, they've got such a great timeline here. And thanks again up there to Cheryl Moran and Mindy. Are all off the charts, beyond nutters. It's getting difficult to watch. Here's our resident Alan McMahon, who goes out and monitors the whack job pro burgers. It's getting difficult to watch them. I wish I had a 2x4. It's just beyond. Yeah. So we have the 12:34:15 and then 12:34:57. Maybe I'll just put these all in there. 12:37:55. 12:38:12. Then 12:42:35. Then 12:42:56. And then 12:43:31. 12:46:36. 12:48:55. 12:49:30. And we have to add the ping data, because I know there is some when it shows it. All right, you guys are going to get me into a jig dancing mode tonight? 1250, 1258. So we got to fill on all the data, and then you'll know what we're talking about. Wait, that's 1250, 1220, 5801. And 1258.37. Then 104.16. Now it's PM. And then they have a bunch of maps about that. Video and images were electronically processed from... Let's read this part down here just for the hell of it. This is in the new document. The Forensic Audio, Video, and Image Analysis Program was requested to determine the make and model and year of the questioned vehicle depicted in the submitted media. The submitted videos and images were electronically processed to identify the questioned vehicle's make, model, and year. 7 vehicle make, model charts were produced. See the opinion section. The dates of the examination were November 19th, 2022 through March 21st, 2023. The submitted videos and images were electronically processed, from which 7 make model charts were produced, and then it says the make model charts were recorded to a DVD and labeled examination results. Down here, the submitted videos on November 19th, 2022 and November 21st, 2022 were reviewed to determine the questioned vehicle's make, model, and year. Due to insufficient image detail and obscured views produced by the blooming of the vehicle's headlights, right, exactly, headlights, the make, model, and year could not be determined. The submitted videos on November 23rd, 2022 were reviewed to determine the questioned vehicle's make, model, and year. The questioned vehicles shared similar class characteristics with a 5th generation Hyundai Elantra between 2011 to 2013. The similar class characteristics blah, 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 include but are not limited to the overall body shape, window configuration, side trim, headlight shape, front grille configuration, and near license plate position. On November 26, 2022, after reviewing expanded known information to include the rear bumper reflector and the shape of the front fog lights on the Hyundai Elantra. See, at first they didn't have all that. The questioned vehicle year was expanded to the 5th generation between 2011 and 2016. I think this is an error here. That should be like 4th. And then it was expanded to 5th generation. The submitted video received on December 7, 2022 was reviewed to determine the questioned vehicle's make, model, and year. Due to the insufficient image detail, the vehicle make, model, and year were not determined. The submitted videos and images on December 20th were reviewed to determine the questioned vehicle's make, model, and year. The questioned vehicle shares similar class characteristics with a 5th generation Hyundai Elantra. Oh yeah, this is that that part right there. See, missing a front license plate. There it is. That's the vehicle leaving at at 4:20 and 47 seconds. Alright, let's fill this in now. 57. That's also 301. This one's 301. This one's 301. 338.12. Those are the only ones there. Now let's get this one. 820. 820. 820. And then this one's 400 Bridge Street. Four hundred. That's also 400. That's Albertsons, I would imagine. And that's also that, and then that again. There were Daily Mail article, and it said while in PA jail, he was trying to expose himself to a lady inmate and saying all kinds of crazy stuff, taunting the guards and singing violent rap. I don't know about that. Gotta question what you say there. Sorry. Cell tower data would probably weigh more heavily than a geo tag on a selfie. I don't know about that. Alright guys, do I have to dance a jig tonight? I think I do. Doubt there is anything to expose. He is Brian Kohberger. Alright, going back up here. An individual matching the description of Kohberger enters main entrance at Costco. This is all pretty interesting stuff. Entrance at Costco. The individual appears to approach the front door from the northeast portion of the parking lot. Oops. There we go. How do I do like cell, let's see, format. Hey, thanks. Wow, you're still here, Leon Littlejohn? Hey, thank you. And Laney Carter. Wrap text. Alright, maybe we should do that for all of these, I think. Format cells. Wrap text. There we go. So some of them. Alright. And at the next one. 357.55, an individual matching the description of Kohberger appears to be denied entry into Costco. He probably went up and said, "Hey, I'd like to come in here. By the way, you have nice birthing hips." And then they said, "Well, you're denied." And he's like, "Why? All he said was you have nice birthing hips." Wrap text. I guess you have to do that individually or what? So what makes that one wrap? Why is that one wrapping? Like something was weird. Yeah, why is this all like doubled up like this? I don't get it. An individual matching the description of Kohberger enters the entrance of Costco. Then the individual appears to approach the front door. From the northeast portion of the parking lot. Okay, then the next one. An individual matching the description of Kohberger appears to be denied entry into Costco, leaves the entrance and returns to the northeast section of the parking lot. Then at 12:37, a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 is seen traveling westbound through the Costco parking lot. Westbound through the Costco. I keep saying Costco. Like Moscow. Costco pork parking lot. Then the next one is... See, it's like this over here. I'm just trying to make space. So at 12:38:12, a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 emerges onto 5th Street northbound, immediately turns onto Port Drive. Here, I'll show you this, everything that we just saw. So he's right here in the back. He's over here and he's denied entry. Then he's leaving the entrance of Costco, heading west right here, then merges on the 5th Street. And then he's heading towards Walmart. And I guess, where is Walmart? What does it say? 5th Street northbound, immediately turns on the Port Drive towards Walmart. Okay, so he's here and he's heading up this way and Walmart's right there. Guess I didn't realize that was Walmart. I'll put a pin there. Come on. At 12:42:35, a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 travels westbound on Port Drive, turning north into Kate's Cup of Joe drive-through. And so that means it went like this and came in right here to Kate's Cup of Joe. Now let's go back to the other document, the probable cause, and do a search for Kate's Cup of Joe. Alright, okay. Cup. Let's do that. There it is. So at approximately 12:36 p.m., Kohberger's phone utilized cellular resources that would provide coverage to Kate's Cup of Joe. And that stand is at 8:10, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in our timeline. And so right here, so it's 1236, traveling westbound through the Costco parking lot. So this isn't, at 1236 isn't accurate. It must be a little different than that. At approximately 1236, utilize cellular resource. I guess it's utilizing resources of Kate's Cup located at 810. And that says at approximately 1246, then utilize cellular data in the area of Albertsons. Okay, so what about cellular resources that would provide coverage to Kate's Cup of Joe stand at 810 Port Drive? Washington surveillance footage from the U.S. Chef store located at 820 Port Drive, adjacent to Kate's Cup of Joe, showed a white Elantra consistent with suspect vehicle 1 drive past Kate's Cup of Joe at a time consistent with the cellular data from Kohberger's phone. Yeah, so let's see what time frame they give it. What we'll do is we'll make the cast data match what the Chef store said. I don't know. I feel like you guys are bored to death. It's just tonight's had so much of a different flow to it. You know. Thanks, Lady of Cali. Thanks for your on-point detail. But believe me, this will be really useful down the road. All right. 1242.56. All of us will know this case inside and out. Right. Exactly. That's what I want. Alright, so now we're mentioning the Chef store. It says a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 performs a U-turn into the U.S. Chef parking lot and slowly moves south through the lot. Yeah, so I guess what it did was it goes to Kate's Cup of Joe and drives up here. And then does like a U-turn and then slowly drives south. This is the Chef store right here. So the other one before was a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1. Travels westbound on Port Drive, turning north into Kate's Cup of Joe. And look at that, it's 1242.35. But his cell phone, it was pinging using the same resources. So it doesn't mean that it used Kate's Cup of Joe's resources, but it used the same resources as that coffee stand at 1236. So I'm going to put that in there. So 1236. 1236 p.m. and this is at 8:20 Kate's let's see, well, it doesn't mean this is going to be blue. It's not really there. It's just in Clarkston. Clarkston utilized. Well, we know where it is at that time, don't we? Entrance and returns to the northeast section of the parking lot. The vehicle matching description is traveling. So this is at, so it's in Costco parking lot in Clarkston, and it's utilizing same cell resources as Kate's cup of Joe. Put the cast. That's at that time. Now, if they're off on their time, then who knows? I don't know. But that's, they said 12:36. Did he ever actually turn his phone back on? I don't know. Yeah, he turned it on at 5:32 to 5:36 p.m. Let me read what you wrote again. All right, here we go. I'm going to give 5 memberships myself. Maybe that'll get the ball rolling tonight. And there you go. There you go. Got Mama Bear, Suzanne, Sprague, Mick, Melissa, Lisa Hobbs, Ryan P. Okay, we're on the 12:43:41. A vehicle matching the description of Vehicle 1 continues south through the U.S. Chef parking lot until it leaves the frame. And then Vehicle 1 appears to turn east onto Port Drive as it drives away. There we go. Good night, Noel, with an E. I should say Gray with an A. Oh, Leon Littlejohn again? What the heck? Did we wake you up out of bed for that one? You need to go to sleep. You got a 5 a.m.er. Format cells. Okay. So that was 12:43:40. It's good. It's pretty technical in here. Man, we got Leon Littlejohn and Cheryl Moran just totally making the night work. I appreciate that. I know other people have supported too, but it's like if I subtracted them from the total, we'd be at a really low number tonight. Thanks, L. Piddock, Lisa Corinne, Mel Carter, Inquisitive, Southern Woman. That is so specific. I'm an inquisitive Southern woman. And Steve Revan. Yeah, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. I mean, that's very, very generous. All right. 12:46:36 says a vehicle matching the description of Vehicle 1 is seen traveling east through the Albertsons parking lot in the upper left corner of the screen. Whatever the hell that is. We don't have a picture. And upper left corner of the screen behind a pickup truck. How do we know that's it? Hey, thanks, Forgetful Mandy. You guys' names are so they're so funny. Nobody ever uses their actual names other than me, I think. Like, I don't think Leon's last name is Little John. Cheryl Moran, that's probably her real name. I don't think, well, there's a lot of people that use their real names, but. Oh, was there a Ted Bundy in there? Oh, look at that. We have Leon Littlejohn on a coffee, and Lisa Valenzuela on a coffee, and we have someone did a coffee, and then we've got Ted Bundy twice. Yep. Yeah, I saw your cell. I don't think you're a guy though, Ted Bundy. All right. Don't think you're a guy. I think the real Ted Bundy's a guy, but yeah, hopefully they're not using their real name. Thank you guys, appreciate it. All right, so we've got vehicle mat, and then we'll go through it and I'll show you what the car is doing. I just want to get this all in our. Then at 12:48:55, an individual matching the description of Kohberger walks from the area. Hold on. Walks from the area where the above mentioned vehicle parked towards the east entrance to Albertsons. And remember, this is the same suspect vehicle, looks the same, everything. Alright, then at 12:49:30, an individual matching the description of Kohberger is seen entering Albertsons. So they're entering Albertsons. Then in 7 minutes later, at 12:56:50, an individual matching the description of Kohberger is seen checking out at the self-check. Interesting. So that nobody can say, "Oh, I saw you here." I mean, not an individual wouldn't be like, "Oh yeah, I remember he was." Just kind of anonymously. Oops. Checking into the self checkout. Okay, and then at 12:58:01, an individual matching the description of Kohberger is seen exiting the Albertsons via the east door. Then at 12:58:37, an individual is matching the description of Kohberger returns to the area where the vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 previously parked. Yeah, that would make sense. I'm not sure why you need that one. Parked. And then at 1:04:16, a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 drives south towards the parking lot exit to Bridge Street. There we go. Look at all those memberships we got up there. Very cool. I don't know. I haven't mentioned any at his apartments. Okay. All right. Well, that's got all that in there. All right. So let's show you on the map. So he goes over to the Costco, right over here. And he shows up over here. And then he goes here. And he leaves the entrance of Costco. Then he's heading west. Then he merges onto 5th Street. He drives up like this. He goes into Kate's Cup of Joe at 12:43. Wait, 12:42. Let me get these times here. 12:42:35. Vehicle matching description of vehicle 1 travels westbound on Port Drive, turning north into Kate's Cup of Joe, right there. So, and then 7 seconds later, not sure why I have that exact time. 12. No, it's 12:43. A vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 performs a U-turn into the U.S. Chef Store parking lot. So probably, let's see what it looks like there. I actually drove there. My camera screwed up though. So there you go. It drives up that way, right? So it must have had to have passed the Kate's Cup of Joe, because it says a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 travels westbound on Port Drive, turning north into the Kate Cup of Joe drive-through lane. So it literally went through there, right? Then over there, it would do a U-turn, and then it makes its way into the U.S. Chef Store, which is that store right there. You can see it on the building. So after it drives over there, it does a U-turn, and then it's heading south this direction. And then a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 continues south through the Chef Store parking lot until it leaves the frame. Vehicle 1 appears to turn east onto Port Drive. So then after it leaves here, this is Port Drive and heading east, so it goes this direction. And then at 12:46:36, a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 is seen traveling east through the Albertsons parking lot. So 3 minutes after it heads here, it goes down this direction, and then it heads east through the parking lot here. $12:46. Do I have that time up here? I just want to make sure. I think I need to put these. So right there, it's 12:43, 41 p.m. Matching the description of vehicle 1 continues south through the U.S. parking lot. Vehicle turns east onto, so then it heads out. So let's put a pin up here. Does like a U-turn. Goes through there and probably does a, like a U-turn right around in here. That's 12:42:56 p.m. U-turn. Likes doing those U-turns, huh? Yeah, right there. And it goes this direction. I mean, this isn't part of the crime, but I just want to. I mean, everything. It makes me even more sense. Everything after doing this. Then it heads down here, and then at 12. I'm not sure where that 12:38 comes from. Or is that the one? Vehicle matching description of vehicle 1 merges onto 5th Street northbound and immediately turns in Port Drive towards Walmart. See, that's not. Oh, that's the Costco. So it's down here. Let's get this mapped in. So 12:38, 12, a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 merges on the 12:42:35, vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 travels westbound on Port Drive. Then 12:43:41, a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1, the chef store. Then 12:46:36. Okay. 12:46:36. A vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 is seen traveling east through the Albertsons parking lot, eventually parking in the upper left corner of the screen, but we don't know what that means. Like, if there's a camera, it's facing that way, so maybe like over here, you know. 12:46:36. Vehicle enters, I guess. Heads east and parks. And 12:46:36. That's the one we just did. 12:48:55. An individual matching the description of Kohberger walks from the area. I mean, it's interesting that he took 2 minutes at his car. You know, what's he doing? 2 minutes, just you park and then you sit there for 2 minutes. Walks from the area where the above-mentioned vehicle parked towards the east entrance of Albertsons. So I think that the vehicle parked over here. You know, like a camera pointing out in the upper left-hand corner would look like that, right? So he would have parked over here. You get what I'm saying? So let's just say there's a camera in the upper left. That means it's on the eastern side. So Kohberger park in upper left of surveillance video. We'll just put it right there. Then he went into the east entrance, which is probably the front of the building, and then the farthest one to the east. So is that the one? Yep. So that makes sense where I just put him, right? So that's the west entrance, and this is the east entrance to the building. That one. That's crazy. Isn't that awesome how you can just get it? So there it is. The east entrance. Individual matching description of Kohberger walks from the area where the above-mentioned vehicle parked towards the east entrance to Albertsons. This is 12:48:55. Leaves parked car and enters east entrance. $12:49:30. An individual matching the description of Kohberger is seen entering Albertsons via the east entrance. Okay, I'm going to edit that now. So this is, I'm going to say, I'm going to put this right over here, and then leaves parked area, and I'm going to get rid of enters. That doesn't exist there. Rename parking and heads towards east entrance. Then over here at the east entrance at 12, description of Kohberger seen entering Albertsons at the east entrance. So 12:49. So they have him on camera walking that whole way, man. Probably has his little grill, smiling at the camera coming in. Kohberger enters east entrance with one massive eyebrow. They actually asked him when he came in if he could be their new street sweeper. All right. Hey, you know what? Zozo should hire Kohberger. Just strap 2 of them in front of those vehicles. Forget the little thing that brushes the ground, for God's sakes. Just put Kohbergers, have them like have children with these massive eyebrows. You know what I'm saying? All right, 12:49:30. Then an individual matching the description of Kohberger is seen checking out at the self-checkout. His eyebrows checked out 2 minutes later. Can I get a boom? Yeah. All right, let's see. Yeah, 12:56:50. We'll just go. Let me see if there's a 3D. Somebody did a 3D camera inside there. And the answer is no. Sometimes you get lucky. Is there anything in there that you can make out? Like a checkout? It looks like there's some checkouts there. We're just going to go ahead and put a pin on top of the building in here where it says Kohberger. Okay, that's 12:56:50. Kohberger checks out at self checkout. And we don't have the yeah, we don't know what he bought there. Law enforcement does, obviously. 12:56:50. And then at 12:58:01, an individual matching the description of Kohberger is seen exiting Albertsons via the East door. So then, that same door right there. Exits East entrance. Alright. That's 12:58:01. Then 12:58:37. An individual matching the description of Kohberger returns to the area where his car is. So then that's right over here again. I just think this is kind of where it was. Makes sense too. Let's see, 12:58:37. Kohberger returns to car. That made me laugh and come out of the bushes, Sass T said. At 12:47, Brian Kohberger's eyebrows enter the Albertsons building and is seen checking out. Moments later, Kohberger enters the building himself. How the eyebrows... I can't do the... How the eyebrows paid... We'll never know. He has sentient eyebrows. They actually think for themselves. It's absolutely amazing. 12:58:37. Then at 1:04:16 p.m. a vehicle matching the description has southbound south towards the parking lot exit to the bridge. So what was he doing for 6 minutes in that parking lot? You know what I mean? Like, it's just... A vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 drives south. So that makes sense. I think I'm in the right place here. So he kind of goes from like here, and I think comes out over there. And that's at 1:04:16. So it says, a vehicle matching the description of vehicle 1 drives south towards the parking lot exit to exit Bridge Street. To Bridge Street. That's what this is. So I guess, yeah, we can just put that same time up here. 1:04:16. 1:04:16 p.m. Heads to south parking lot exit to Bridge Street. There it is. Through the course of this video, review clips showing vehicle matching the description of Vehicle 1, which were seen on the WSU surveillance cameras located along Stadium Way in Pullman, Washington, were collected from the live camera system by S.A. Hilly. These clips were turned over to the Moscow Police Department. Surveillance review on the WSU camera system was conducted using a live view system. Due to the functionality of the system, only small clips were able to be extracted and maintained. S.A. Hilly reviewed the WSU camera between approximately 2 o'clock and 6 a.m. on November 13, 2022, and collected clips which showed vehicles matching the description of Vehicle 1. These sightings are noted above. No other sightings of vehicles matching this description were observed. Well, that's pretty damning, isn't it? And then, you know what's weird about that is after this, there's like almost no other information about that. But let's go over here. So when it was heading into that area, further analysis of the cellular data provided showed that Kohberger's phone utilizes cellular resources consistent with the phone traveling from Pullman, Washington to Lewiston, Idaho via US 195 at approximately 12:36 p.m. The Kohberger phone utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage to Kate's Cup of Joe. That's wrong. I remember there was information about in here where the vehicle was going. That's Lewiston, right? Further analysis of cellular data. Phone traveling from Pullman, Washington to Lewiston, Idaho via 195. So they didn't have the time on it. But, I mean, they didn't get into the details of the vehicle traveling from his residence down to Lewiston. It just says, further analysis of cellular data provided showed that Kohberger's phone utilized cellular resources on November 13th, consistent with the phone traveling from Pullman to Lewiston. And then, using Highway 195. So it's, I guess what we could do, I don't know, it would just be purely guessing, but I would say, let's try to figure out one thing. If we go from Kohberger's house, let's say he was at home, which is up here, and let's do a map. And this looks goofy. Now, which one is it? Oh, maybe it was right there. Oh, is that just like the totally wrong place? I think I'm in the wrong area. He's up. Hold on. So he lives right here. Directions. Let's just say right here. Maybe this parking lot. And then go all the way down to Clarkston, and Kate's Cup of Joe. Where the hell is that? I think I'm in the right place. I just don't recognize it. Right here. So that's 47 minutes to get there. So what we could say is when it hits Kate's Cup of Joe, and that's a different time. Let's just say when it drove into the parking lot. Let's use a different thing than when it used the same resources, because I'm actually doing the physical driving of the vehicle. So on this one, let's see, when the first time it mentions Kate, jeez, isn't it K A? Oh, I know why, because I have highlighted. There it is. Next. Alright. Turn into Kate's Cup of Joe. So that time is 12:42 and 37 seconds. So if we just use a rough estimate using this, that means he left Pullman at 11:55. Is that right? Yes. So 11:55. So we're going to put that in here, but it's going to be one of my guesses. So insert, and then right here 11/13/2022 at 11:55 a.m. Let's just say Kohberger's residence, likely left around this time to travel to Clarkston, Washington. Gray's guess. Alright, there you go. This one is, what was the color we were using for that? That was, I think I had my own color, right? Hey, thanks, Amber Maiden. That was purple. There we go. All right, there we go. So it leaves at 11:55, and then it gets to Kate's Cup of Joe 47 minutes later. So that's about when it would have left his residence. Does that make sense? Hey, all right. Thank you guys for your generosity out there. But, you know, can't go unnoticed. We gotta do special thanks to Cheryl Moran and Leon Littlejohn tonight. So there, that's that. And then let's go back into that document for some more cast information. So we're at 146 lines in here of stuff going on. I think it's pretty damning. I mean, it does show that his vehicle was down there. It's obviously him. But the same cell tower, when it was pinging his vehicle, I mean, just think about it like this. Like they're pinging his phone, and here's this white Elantra. And then multiple other times, his phone is in the same area as an Elantra, driving around without its front license plate. And by the way, it was right there at the murder house for a 11-minute time frame, 12 minutes. Maybe almost 13. He is toast. We should make a t-shirt that has Kohberger's face sort of burnt onto toast. You know, like some of those Jesus toast images they have. Seeing it type out like this. Yeah, isn't it weird? It actually, just seeing it typed out and us going over it, it's pretty wild. Now, the red is Kohberger, his movements, and different sightings of him. And then the homicides took place right inside this orange block. So maybe tomorrow we can, after we get this thing done, we'll go over it one by one, each line. And I think it'll even be more like, oh, holy crap. Or maybe I should just make a video going over each line of it. Maybe that's better. I can make a video and then we can talk about it. And then we'll move on from timeline. But we'll always be adding to it. And I'm sure there's other pieces that I haven't seen yet that are out there. There's tiny little bits of information. But I got to get back to this for now. But I will say, I have to say special thanks to all the freaks that have been here all these years that are always supporting my channel. You know, through thick and thin, all the way through all this time. You know, so you guys are what have allowed us to keep going. What do you mean? He didn't post it, he just took it. What does that mean? You know? Yeah, he just posted it on. I mean, somebody said he posted it, but just took a picture. Okay, let's go back to this one. Yeah, the probable cause document. And then it starts talking about these other times down here. I'm really interested in that 532 to 536 window. Right here, this thing. So 11, 13, 2020. Why does it keep putting the dot in there? 11, 13, 2022 at 5:32 p.m. Johnson, near Johnson, Washington. Phone utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage to Johnson, Washington. This is cast information. Stops reporting to the network from approximately, yeah. So I'm just going to put this in here and we'll have two of them. So we're going to say phone starts utilizing cellular resources, and then we'll just copy this whole line and put it down here. Oh jeez, that was weird. Then right here, nope, can't do that. And then make this 536, and then phone stops utilizing right there. Wow, so there you go. Look at that. And there's just this weird thing, and then it doesn't show up again, and then it's off. So think about it like this. So we don't know where he was for 5 hours after he left Clarkston, Washington. We don't know where he went. And then somehow, later in the day, at 5:32 and 5:36, his phone, which, you know, it pings off of this tower right here, or not that one, but this one probably. or even this one, there's two of them. It utilized the resources, or that for Johnson, Washington, I guess is the term. Let me see how they worded that. Phone starts utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to Johnson, Washington. Okay, so either this tower or this tower provide coverage to Johnson, Washington. And at 5:32 p.m. to 5:36 p.m., in a 4-minute window, he turned his phone on for a little bit. Was he getting mapping information? Perhaps driving around over here, making his way back to a place where he may have ditched a weapon? It's not far, these roads over here. Let's see what happens if you... Let's say he turns it on over here to get mapping coordinates. And there he is in Johnson. So he's right over here. He's off of 95 and he turns it on just as he turns here. So let's say he's right there and he turns it on. And then what happens? Can he go way over here somewhere? Let's go to here. Well, that takes 11 minutes to get there. Maybe he just pulls over somewhere and he gets mapping coordinates. But then it turns off again at 5:36. At 5:36 it turns, so it's on from 5:32 to 5:36, and then poof, it's gone again. And then at approximately 8:30 p.m. is when it came back on the network, and they don't say where that is. But what it does say is this is consistent with Kohberger's phone being in the area that Kohberger's phone traveled in the hours immediately following the suspected time of the homicides occurred. So, man, that's crazy. What's it doing? Why did it turn that off? Was it trying to get more mapping? Like, he knows he put the... Here's what I think is very possible. Is somewhere in the middle out here, maybe he put the weapon, and then on the way back, he knows where he put the weapon, but he needs... he didn't drive that enough, so he's using his GPS coordinates, using a VPN to figure out how to get to where he put that, or maybe he's going to add some stuff, or he's going to move it, or whatever. I mean, why do you think he's just turning on that phone for a 4-minute window in the general area? Hey, thanks so much, Janelle H. I know that not geothermal, they're like LiDAR. There's a guy that communicated with me. He wanted to go out and do that. It's just, to me, that's just, I think that's absolutely just a complete shot in the dark. I mean, how would you even know what you're flying a drone, and let's say you buried this stuff in a little tiny hole covered with a rock. I mean, how in the hell are you going to find that? I do think that it's very possible that Kohberger was... I mean, I think it'll be amazing if at 9 in the morning he's actually searching prior to that, trying to listen to the scanner audio or something. That'd be pretty crazy. Not bored at all, doing chores. Oh, you must be on rewind. Okay. I said that a long time ago. I guess we can just put 8:30 p.m. Phone is back on net. I guess we don't even know where it is, but phone is back on network. cast. Cast. All right. Feels pretty good. I really am excited about this information here. All right, so let's just go over the stuff from today. At 4:48 a.m., the vehicle's on a highway near Blaine, Idaho. And that's the cast information. And then using, it's cell tower stuff. Then 4:50 a.m., cast data follows Kohberger's movements. And then at 5:25:29, the vehicle is all the way up by Johnson Avenue. Let's see, drives by Johnson. Wait, drives by 13. Drives by camera near Pullman, Washington. Now, it seems like forever when we talked about this stuff. That's weird. 5:25, 1330 Johnson Avenue, drives by camera near Pullman, Washington. 1455 Southeast Bishop Boulevard, vehicle spotted merging to Bishop from Johnson Avenue. 5:26 a.m. Pullman, Washington, cast data shows vehicle back near Pullman. And then amazingly, at 5:26:22, 1455 Southeast Bishop Boulevard, north on Bishop, heading towards East Main. 5:26:46, the vehicle matches the description of vehicle 1, turns on to, so all of this stuff is right here. The vehicle's driving like this, it's spotted on all these different cameras coming up like that, and then all the way up into this area, all the way up here, eventually turning right, and Kohberger lives right there. But Gray, that doesn't mean it's Kohberger. Yeah, right. Yeah, Kohberger's just completely innocent. He didn't do anything. Let's see, oh yeah, that wasn't what I was looking at. Yeah, so he goes through all the way up there and all the way up to vehicle north on Stadium Way, turning east into Northeast Orchard Drive. Then we have, let's see. Well, actually, I think didn't we do all this stuff yesterday? That stuff, and then today we just started right here. But even though we don't have a lot of stuff filled out, it really, we got a lot of information out of it. So we already did that one. So let's just go right here. So this part, this is really interesting. So at 9 a.m., the vehicle is leaving the area of his residence. We don't know how far away. I think it's 2 or 3 miles away. Then at 9:12, his phone is pinging in Moscow, Idaho, utilizing the same resources as 1122 King Road. Then at 9:12:59, lo and behold, a vehicle is seen on camera at the A&W right around that exact time. So his phone, and see, this is what correlates to the vehicle being down in Clarkston, right? It's like, okay, his phone is there, and there's the vehicle, the same suspect vehicle that we see on the camera from the chef store. Then at 9:21, his phone is still pinging off of the same tower that utilizes, 1122 King Road utilizes. Good night, Lid. Or is it Lild? And then 3:32, the phone is heading back towards his residence again. Then he sits there for a couple hours, about 2 hours and 20 something minutes. I say that he leaves his residence around 11:55, and then at 12:34, an individual matching the description of Kohberger is down there in Clarkston, Washington. And the person, let's see, maybe if I make there, we can do it like that. The individual matching the description of Kohberger enters the main entrance to Costco. The individual appears to approach the front door from the northeast portion of the parking lot. An individual matching the description of Kohberger appears to be denied entry at 34:57. Then a minute 3 later, the cast shows that I gotta fix that. Cast shows Kohberger's phone utilizes the same cell resources as Kate's Cup of Joe. Then at 12:37:57, a vehicle matching the description of Kohberger's vehicle is seen traveling westbound through the Costco parking lot. Then at 12:38:12, a vehicle matching the description of Vehicle 1 merges onto 5th Street northbound and immediately turns onto Port Drive towards Walmart. Then at 12:42:35, a vehicle matching the description of Vehicle 1 travels westbound on Port Drive, turning north into Kate's Cup of Joe. So even though it was utilizing the same resources 6 minutes earlier, just probably a cell tower, it's now seen on Kate's Cup of Joe's camera. It's seen on the camera there. And then at 12:42:56, a vehicle matching the description of Vehicle 1 performs a U-turn just after passing Kate's Cup of Joe, and then starts heading south through the Chef Store parking lot and slowly moves south through the lot. So what we just saw was, here it was at Costco. They kicked him out, and then he heads this way. He drives up here. He goes into the Kate's Cup of Joe driveway, through there, and then does a U-turn, and he's heading back like this, and then he goes that direction on Port Drive. And then just to continue on, it goes down like this into the Albertsons parking lot. And I think he parked over here because he goes into the east parking lot. And so we're going to go back up here and say that at 12:42:56, a vehicle matching the description of Vehicle 1 does a U-turn. I just showed you that in the U.S. Chef Store parking lot. Slowly moves south. Then at 12:43:41, the vehicle matching the description of Vehicle 1 continues south through the U.S. Chef Store parking lot until it leaves the frame. Vehicle 1 appears to turn east onto Port Drive. Then at 12:46:36, a vehicle matching the description of Vehicle 1, Kohberger's vehicle, is seen traveling east through the Albertsons parking lot, eventually parking in the upper left corner of the screen, meaning there's a video camera, and the video cameras are affixed to the building, so the upper left-hand corner would mean that the vehicle is parked in the east side of the parking lot. An individual matching the description of Kohberger is seen. Then that same person, Kohberger gets out. A person that looks like Kohberger walks from the area where the above-mentioned vehicle parked towards the east entrance of Albertsons. And then an individual matching the description of Kohberger is seen entering Albertsons via the east entrance exit. And this is all within like a 2 or 3 minute window. Then at 12:56:50, after being in the store for 7 minutes and 20 seconds, an individual matching the description of Kohberger is seen checking out at the self-checkout. Then, 1 minute and 11 seconds later, an individual matching the description of Kohberger is seen exiting Albertson via the east door. Then, 36 seconds later, at 12:58:37, an individual matching the description of Kohberger returns to the area where the vehicle matching the description of Vehicle 1 previously parked. So back up in the upper left-hand corner of that surveillance camera. Then at 1:04:16, which is a little less than 6 minutes later, a vehicle matching the description of Vehicle 1 drives south towards the parking lot exit to Bridge Street. So he sat in his car for 5 minutes. Maybe he's just having a drink or whatever he's doing. Don't really know what he's doing. Maybe when we find out what he purchased, that might indicate what he was doing in those 5 or 6 minutes. Then at 5:32, then there's a 4-hour gap where we don't know where his phone was pinging. And then at 5:32 p.m., it turned on and pinged near Johnson, Washington. And it stayed on for 4 minutes. Even at 5:36, near Johnson, Washington. And it was utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to Johnson, Washington for 4 minutes. And then poof. And then it didn't show up on a network again for 3 hours. So he likely just turned it off. Yeah. There you go. All right. Yeah, it'd be great to see what he bought. I agree. Anyways, did you guys find the show interesting tonight? And now we're through the timeline. Now, if you find any other pieces of information that's in the documents that I don't have, just let me know. But we currently have 149 lines, 148 of timeline information. That's pretty cool. All right. Maybe what I should do, what do you think, you guys? Should I put out a video of the timeline and just do like, you know, I guess break it into 4 parts, and just then it's like you have like 35 lines here, 35 lines, 35 lines, 35 lines, and then people can just watch them all in order and you'd have the whole thing. I can show it on the screen though, that's the thing. It's not really that confusing, the shower picture. Come on, M10. Oh yeah, don't we have the time for that? Yeah, give me that, you guys. What's the time? That's right, that's a timeline information. Come on, what's the time of that picture? 10:32, but I don't know. Yeah, that's right, that is 10:32. You're right, that is an element. That's in the documents. I'm going to go find that. Where the hell is that thing? That's in the bushy eyebrow thing. How come you guys didn't just jump in and say, great, how about the eyebrows? Now that was that was a while ago though. That was like the 18th. Does that sound right? Yeah, bushy eyebrows. Here we go. I found it. Right? Isn't he in this one? Ah, no, that's not it. No, that was way before the 18th. That was. Yeah, I only have the one on the 18th. What was the document that had his eyebrow in it? So I have this one on the 18th. That's this one. But it doesn't have that picture in it. And I remember it had a picture of him. Okay, so it's before the 11th, because I've got a picture of him right here. 410, 409, 403. This might be in this one. Man, I don't remember the document that one's in. March 17th state response. No, because I got him in a folder from... Oh, March, you think? Maybe. Let's see. I'm just going at the main. Oh, there it is. March. It is March 17th. I had it in a different area. Yeah, there you go. That is that one. I think. There it is. There's the picture. Does it have a time on it? There it is. License listing him, and it says at photograph taken by Kohberger on November 13th, 2022 at 10:31. Oh, man. And so doesn't that fit perfectly with what I just told you up above, where I have him still at home, and he's going to drive down to Clarkston? Look at this right here, watch. So I have him at 11:55 is when he leaves his house, basically. So let's insert that in there, and then 11/13/2022 at 10:31 a.m. And this is at his house, so we can actually put that address. Kohberger takes a picture of himself, and that should be just red, I think. There we go. Look at this, man. So he gets home at 9:32-ish, but a little bit later, 9:45. Then 45 minutes later, after he gets home, he takes a picture of himself. And a little over an hour after that, he takes off. All right, so if you have any other little nuggets like that, I don't know why I forgot that one, but yeah, 10:31. So thank you guys for getting that. I have a whole bunch of documents on the 17th. That was one of the good days, like the crazy good ones. Had a great PDF files on that one. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Don't you just feel like if you were a juror and you saw this, you would just go, oh yeah, this. And you know what's interesting about this? We haven't talked about a knife sheath. And so this is what I'm saying is the case is strong even without the knife sheath with his DNA on it. But that's just the icing, like just boom. Right? This is crazy right here. Just following this, his phone and his vehicle start matching up after he turned it back on again. Thank you, Sassy T. Alright, well, I think that's going to do it for me, you guys. We got a lot done in the last 2 days. Absolutely have this awesome timeline. And like I said, if you find any other pieces of information, I mean, it's really interesting right here, right? The red is Kohberger, and the black in there are the roommates and so forth. Those are other people doing things. The blue here is cast information, showing ping information. So even right here, Kohberger's near his residence, and the ping shows him right there. And these might be like similar. I'm not sure if this one here is different than this one. Is that his apartment? We don't know if he's at his apartment. So I'm going to get rid of this right there. And now we see him at 244 on King Road, 244 on King Road. And I'm not sure why those times are exactly the same like that. But this one says Kohberger driving Elantra. So that's the Elantra. Oh, wait, sorry. This is 244. Kaylee calls Jack, and then Madison begins calling Jack again. Then Kohberger is driving his Elantra. Then Cass shows his phone in Southeast Pullman. And then at 2:52, Madison calls Jack. 2:52, Kaylee calls Jack. 2:53, Madison calls Bethany. 2:53, Kohberger's White Elantra is seen on camera. Again, sort of on Washington and Nevada Street in Stadium Way. And then the Cass system has him turning off his phone at 2:54. And then at 8 minutes later, exactly the amount of time it would take from this location to the Floyd's Cannabis Shop, a vehicle seen, as Elantra spotted. And then all of these other ones are the White Elantra spotted doing all of its loops, etc. In the middle of that stuff at 3:50 and so forth, Dylan Mortensen creates a new contact on her phone at 3:51:03. And then during this time at 3:59, DoorDash is delivered. And then I'm putting 3:59:47 because I think that the key fob, it's 3:59 without that, but I think 3:59:47 is the key fob of the DoorDash driver. And then 4 o'clock, according to Dylan, everyone is in their room. And, that's just her. And then 4 o'clock, the headlights are seen. I mean, it's pretty crazy, you guys. It's all just links them up. So, there you go. All right. You guys, I think that's a good way to do it. I'm going to make like 4 different videos on the timeline. And then eventually you can just put them all together. I'm not sure what... Yeah, we don't know. Does anybody know the time of those ATM? I know that they have those, but I haven't seen the timeline in any of the documents. All right, so thank you to all the people who help support the channel. We've got Leon Littlejohn right out of the gate with 10 memberships. Then K-Me, Sonia, Allie Cake, Leon Littlejohn again. Then K-Me, Leon Littlejohn gifted 5. Then we have FSC Figure Skating Coach, Susie Sandpiper, Cemetery Stone, Cemetery Stone. It was kind of far away. Cemetery Stone. Then Donna, and then Cheryl Moran with a cat eye. Then Leon Littlejohn with 2 more 5 gifted memberships in a row, like 10 more. Then Melanie Tone, and then Shay 530, Matthew Ludovico, Self Esteem, and Cheryl Moran again with super chat. But Gray, maybe he's not the only one with an Elantra. And then Mindy, then Leon Littlejohn gifted 5 more. Then Lainey Carter, Lady of Cali. Then I gifted 5. Then Leon Littlejohn gifted 5 again. And then Cheryl Moran gifted 5. Then Forgetful Mandy, Sassy T, Amber Maiden, Janelle H, and Sassy T. So thanks everybody. I really appreciate it. And special thanks to Cheryl Moran and Leon Littlejohn tonight, who bought a ton of memberships. And crazy. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right. Well, tomorrow I'll probably have some more crazy stuff going on with the parents, but who the hell knows, right? But today was absolutely wild. And I was looking forward to doing the show a little bit later than I wanted, but I appreciate everybody showing up. And we'll just continue on plugging away. And I think Susan Hendricks right now is working on she's doing the Karen Reed stuff, like little updates and everything. And so, but her and I are going to kind of team up when we start doing the Kohberger stuff. Like maybe she'll be somewhere, I don't know, maybe she'll go out and like interview people or watch it at the same time. I think it'd be kind of fun to work through it, with somebody that's cool. So anyways, there you go. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. We got one more normal day, and then we got our donation night, and hopefully, sort of we had a couple crappy days not too long ago, but we've sort of made a little bit of a recovery here in the last few days. So hopefully I want to be able to give over 4,000 this month total. We're at we've already done 1,000, so it'd be great to do like 3,500 more. I'm going to give to a charity of one of the people that was watching. It's actually, I think it was in honor of, I can't remember, I think it was a family member of hers, and it was I guess it's for DNA, IgG work out there. It's sort of the same thing we're doing anyways with Identifinders International, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to do that. So maybe give to there, and then we're going to give money to our scholarship fund, and then we'll give money to Identifinders. So maybe that'll be like, quite a bit of money to identifying Jane and John Does. And maybe we'll just do 1,000 to Identifinders, and maybe send another 500 to Texas EquiSearch or something like that. Who knows? But it'd be cool if we get to, make the goal on the last on donation night. Maybe we can do the 4,500 for the month. Yeah, that's it. Your Aunt's Foundation. There you go. It's Laney Carter. All right, there you go. Awesome. And by the way, you got to get them to fix that page, though. It's got to have the donation button on the first page, and it would be simple for somebody to do. Just have it go to the same place that when you finally find the donation button, that it can go to. Did they really? Somebody stole it? My spreadsheet? People suck. Jeez. No doubt, yeah. I just emailed you an interesting interview link with, I'm sure it's the same one that we've all seen. Oh, and then thank you to Ted Bundy. And then someone says Lisa Valenzuela, and also Leon Littlejohn for the coffees. Yeah, you didn't send me anything. Yeah, we've already, is that the one that was on another YouTube channel? Yeah, we've seen it. Yeah, we've already seen that. Everybody's talked about it. Anyways, that was, you didn't send me the link, but I can go find it. There's no link in it. Right, yeah, we've all seen it. Everybody's heard of it. Let's see if they let little details out. Well, I'm going to go check out. I mean, Drunk Turkey has that good video, the interview he did with Steve Gonzalez. I remember people used to always say Gone Calves, because that's how it looks like it. But, I interviewed him. I talked to Steve sometimes, we've talked, 4 or 5 times. And he, we have these long conversations. I'm not recording them or anything, so it's always interesting. There's always stuff out there, but he did a long interview where he's actually, his voice is out there. You can hear it. You can see it. He's saying what he wants to say. So I might go through that and take notes and kind of go over those things. I don't know. Of course, there's idiots like, that J for Justice person. She actually played his entire This is what she does, because she knows it's a lot of work if somebody takes your shit. So she played his entire interview and just talked every once in a while. And apparently that's okay, because you're just reviewing it. Really, the entire 2-hour thing you played, and your video's you only talked for about 10 minutes of the whole thing? It's just disgusting, and it's just, I think, I don't know how people get away with it. It's unreal, you know, so. That's what she does, though. That's her gig. She doesn't really ever do anything for herself. It's just take somebody else's, critique it, and that's it. Yeah, she's the one that got sued by WFLA because she would just sit there and stream their press conferences over and over and over again. She's the one that in the Heidi Broussard case, remember Shane? She just went after him for days and days and days on end. He's the guy. He's the killer. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. And then some random person on the show said, oh, no, oh, my God, I think the girlfriend, she's got a baby, you know, all this kind of stuff. And then it switched over, and she goes, oh, and she took all the credit for it. What a joke. My God. And she still even has that playing on the intro to the channel. And I think it's just hilarious. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Why are people supporting people who aren't doing anything for anything at all? You know? I mean, it takes a lot of effort to actually do something of your own and unique. You know, like making a 3D model of the house. You know, going out there and filming with a camera, 360-degree camera, so that you can have normal conversations. Going through all the documents and finding pieces and putting things together for people. It's just amazing, man. It's amazing. I don't understand it. Yeah, it's never original. Even when she comes up with the crazy stuff, it's because somebody said, oh, have you seen this crazy thing? And then she pretends it's real. And then if you call her out on it, she then makes a video trashing you. It's crazy. You know? Absolutely nuts. Let's see. That's right, Zozo. That's it. Oh, God. There it is right there. There it is. That's true, though. It's true. Anyways, thanks again, everybody. You guys are awesome. We will see you tomorrow. All right? So thanks for being here. And, as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Yeah, I've been doing this
true
crime thing
BMS.
for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, thug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a
protector, fool deflector, interceptor. I don't mean a spectre with a vector. Hey Amber, hi Amber, I know you like me Amber.
Just remember I've a
Yeah, she does like you, doesn't she?
She really does.
No agenda. I'm
I'm
no
a
pretender.
pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end,
I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody?
I'm Clem.
What the heck was that?
What was the other guy's name? We had, there was one in between. It was like, what was his name, you guys? We had John Boy, Mary Lou, and what's the middle person? Do you guys remember? Zozo can probably remember. The one that sounds like a robot. What's his name? Anybody out there? Anybody at all? I don't think, was it Clem? I don't know if that's Clem, the middle name. Clem is the fly. No, but who's the other person? Remember the voice that was like, hi, my name is Gray. I don't have a good time. That one? Who is that one? I'll have to think. I hated that one. No, but what's the name of that? Come on. Well, thanks, Marilise. It was John Boy, Mary Lou, and I don't think it was Clem. It was, I bet we have to go back to like an old show or something. What the hell is it? Man, what is it? Let's see. John Boy, Mary Lou, and... Doesn't anybody here of the old freaks remember that? Well, Clem, I think, was the Fly. And there was another kind of weird voice for Clem. But there was this middle one that he was like a robot. When I first the channel said George was the Fly. Lisa said what? No Rhett Clark. Don't know what that means. I'm told to remember at this point. Actually, Amber named the Fly George. Yeah. I don't think it was Clem. Maybe it was Clem. The middle voice. John Boy, Mary Lou, and... Let's see. Yeah, man, that's so weird. We haven't used that voice for so long. Even John Boy, but John Boy's easy to remember. God, somebody. We need to resurrect the robot guy you all hated. Yeah. I'm the robot guy that you all hated. I'm the robot guy that you... I'm the robot guy that you all hated. How come you guys don't like me very much?
Yeah, why doesn't anybody like you?
I don't know why anybody doesn't like that guy.
Maybe it is Clem. Maybe it is. So mean. It's on the tip of my tongue. All right, send me an email if you guys remember. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you guys tomorrow. And be safe out there. Jim? Bob?